The claim that I'm responding to is that technology is decreasing human interaction, and the advocate's claims include the amount of things the internet has to offer makes human interaction obsolete, social media, and virtual reality. And although it is common to hear that technology serves as a distraction to most humans, and many people think it's unsafe to assume that it diminishes contact with other people and reality, I find that this is untrue. Technological advancements have altered our modern society, but in no way do these changes lend to the idea that human interaction is losing value or becoming obsolete. So my claim is that technology changes how people interact with each other without a toll on face-to-face socialization. And so my first point is the many forms of entertainment the internet has to offer give opportunities for social interaction. And the examples given by the speaker, like Reddit and Facebook, and even like League of Legends, like they have very large online and public communities. And so I don't know if you guys have heard of a LAN party, but the Collins English Dictionary defines a LAN party as a gathering of people with computers in a certain location, establishing a local area network for the primary purpose of multiplayer video gaming. So instead of making social interaction obsolete, the internet creates common interests among users. So people will gather together in social settings and talk about video games, play video games, talk about what's online. And also, online film and clip databases like Netflix and YouTube don't discourage people from seeking public forms of entertainment. The information given by the speaker did not support his claim because there is a high number of users and subscribers to these sites who do contribute to the hours of footage watched, but there are no comparative statistics that prove any effect on social interaction. TheNumbers.com states, they showed a graph that in 1995, which is 2 years prior to the release of Netflix, 1.22 billion tickets were sold in public movie theaters, and in 2013 that number increased to 1.34 billion, so it can imply that more people choose public entertainment despite the existence of online movie databases. And so my second point is social media and social networking encourage people to interact in groups. And the original claim, it wasn't really declarative, it was just a topic, it was just social media. And so social media creates a topic of discussion and like it incorporates pop culture, like on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, like you get the trends every day. And users actually crave recognition and seek to prove their life through like Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, and Vine. And Pew Research Center states that teens take steps to shape their reputation and manage their networks. So although sites can be used as a time filler, as the advocate had expressed, the material a person is viewing is based on the social interaction of other people. And users go out of their way to prove that they do have a life and they document their interactions and make them public. Also, the use of electronic communication is a convenience and not a hindrance to our society. Because texting, like people make Facebook events, there's instant messaging and emails. They make people commit to plans to meet in groups and stuff. And it's more solid than a verbal agreement, like said in passing. And so my third point is that virtual reality is not a possibility in the future of mankind. And the original third point was just future of virtual reality. Again, it wasn't really declarative, it was just another topic. And virtual reality is actually undesirable, and it's really against human nature. By the thought catalog, it said, excessive protraction that once its novelty wears off, merely inhibits the basic task the individual once performed. Human beings gravitate toward the most abstracted interfaces possible. No one will want to simulate gesture and movement when one button touch suffices. So instead of like mimicking what you're doing and imagining it happening, like you can easily do it yourself. You don't have to live like in a virtual reality. And it would actually, if it were to be real, it would be the end of humanity because it represses human instincts to socialize and to even reproduce. And so these points detail that although technology allows changes, additions, and advancements to our lives in ways such as online entertainment, social networking, and entertaining the idea of the fulfillment of fantasies, it does not decrease the amount of human interaction we do experience. Thank you.
All right, Joelle, I thought you did a good job organizing things at the beginning. You've got a counterclaim immediately that challenges the reasoning process that the advocate's presenting. I think that challenge would be a little bit more useful if you talked about some of the evidence and the inferences that the advocate made. Mostly you're relying on counterclaims and counterexamples to parry the arguments being made by the advocate. And you do a very good job of it, because I do think some of the counterclaims fit in very well. You've got a good illustration here with the parties and the video gaming. You've got a nice definition that goes along with it. You talk about the public forums are not going to be dead, and you've got the data that talks about how, despite the fact Netflix has come along, they're still selling more tickets at movie theaters than they did at the time that Netflix didn't exist. And I thought that those were good ways of going about that. Now, let's contrast that to the evidence that the advocate used. What evidence did they use? I don't know, I don't remember. This would be one of those places where you say, well, their only evidence was this vague quote that made up a hypothetical example. Or they had a statistic here that's based on some other social media rather than the ones that are most prominent, or something like that. So I think you've got really good arguments. I just think that you could make them really face the issues that the advocate's presenting a little bit more directly. But that's not a criticism of the research or the analysis that you did here. That's mostly just about presentation and focusing on getting to the contrasting part a lot more. All right, thank you.